The summer sun beat down on the crowded plaza outside Buckingham Palace. Among the sea of tourists stood Lisa Chen, a 32-year-old schoolteacher from Seattle. This was her first trip to London, a dream vacation she had saved up for over 3 years. She wore a bright blue sundress and a wide-brimmed hat that kept slipping down over her eyes in the light breeze. Lisa pushed through the thick crowd, trying to get a better spot to watch the famous changing of the guard ceremony. Everyone around her held up phones and cameras, blocking her view. She had waited too long for this moment to miss it. After traveling over 5,000 miles, she was determined to get the perfect picture to show her students back home. The royal guard stood tall and proud in their red uniforms and tall black bearskin hats. Their faces showed no emotion as they performed their duties. Lisa was most impressed by their horses. The animals were massive and black as night, standing perfectly still despite the noisy crowd around them. Lisa checked the time on her phone. The ceremony would start in 10 minutes. She needed a better spot. She noticed a small gap near the front barrier and quickly squeezed through, ignoring the annoyed looks from other tourists. She bumped into a tall man who frowned at her, but Lisa pretended not to notice. This was her only chance to see this famous event up close. From her new spot, Lisa was just a few feet away from one of the mounted guards. The horse was even more impressive up close. Its coat shined in the sunlight, and its eyes looked straight ahead, trained to ignore the chaos of the tourist crowd. Lisa took out her phone and snapped several photos. A group of teenage boys pushed past her, laughing loudly. One of them knocked into Lisa, causing her to drop her phone. It hit the ground with a crack. Lisa bent down quickly to pick it up, worried the screen might be broken. When she stood back up, someone had taken her spot at the front. The heat and the pushing crowd made Lisa feel frustrated. She had come all this way and waited so long. Now she might miss seeing the ceremony properly. Without thinking clearly, an idea came to her mind. If she could get the horse to move just a little, she might be able to slide back into a good viewing position. Lisa looked around. The guard seemed focused straight ahead. The horse stood just an arm length away. In a moment of poor judgment, Lisa reached out her hand and gave the horse a quick slap on its rear. The horse flinched but stayed mostly in place, trained to remain steady even when disturbed. Lisa quickly pulled out her phone to record, thinking this would make a funny story for her friends back home. She smiled to herself, pleased with her little prank. Then she felt it, a warm breath on the back of her neck. Someone was standing very close behind her. Before she could turn around, a deep voice spoke directly into her ear. "That was a very poor decision, madam." The words were spoken softly but with clear authority. Lisa felt her body freeze. The smile dropped from her face. Her heart began to pound in her chest. She slowly turned around to see who had spoken. Behind her stood a man in plain clothes. He wore no uniform, but his stern expression and the small earpiece in his ear made it clear he was security. His eyes locked with hers, showing no anger but something worse. Disappointment and authority. "I need you to come with me right now," he said in a low voice that only she could hear. Lisa felt her stomach drop. The excitement of her vacation suddenly turned to fear. The crowd around her continued taking pictures, unaware of what was happening. The security officer gestured for her to follow him away from the barrier. Lisa looked back at the horse and the guard one last time. What had seemed like a harmless joke now felt like a terrible mistake. She had no choice but to follow the security officer, wondering what trouble she had just caused for herself. Lisa followed the plainclothes officer through the crowd. People stepped aside when they saw his serious face. Some tourists turned to watch them pass, whispering to each other. Lisa kept her head down, her cheeks burning with shame. This was not how her perfect London trip was supposed to go. The officer led her to a small brick building near the palace gates. A sign on the door read Royal Parks Police. Lisa had not even noticed this building before. The officer held the door open and motioned for her to enter. Inside, the room was cool and quiet compared to the noisy heat outside. 2 more officers sat at desks. One was a woman with short gray hair and a stern face. The other was an older man who barely looked up from his computer. The woman stood when Lisa entered. "I am Inspector Margaret Wells," the woman said. "Please have a seat." Lisa sat in a hard wooden chair across from the desk. Her legs felt weak. The plainclothes officer who had caught her stood by the door, blocking the exit. "Your passport, please," Inspector Wells said, holding out her hand. Lisa reached into her bag with shaking fingers. She handed over her passport, noticing how much her hand trembled. The inspector opened it and wrote down her information. "Do you know why you are here, Ms. Chen?" the inspector asked. Lisa nodded slowly. "Because I touched the horse," she said in a small voice. "Not just touched. You slapped a Royal Guards horse during official duty," the inspector corrected her. "Do you understand this is a serious offense?" Lisa had not known it was serious. She thought it was just a small prank. Now, sitting in this police office, she realized how wrong she had been. "These are not tourist attractions or props for your photos," the inspector continued. "These are working animals and officers performing important duties for the Crown. Interfering with them can result in heavy fines or even jail time." Lisa felt sick to her stomach. Jail time? For touching a horse. She had never been in trouble with the law before. Not even a parking ticket back home. "I did not know," Lisa said, her voice breaking. "I am very sorry. I did not mean to cause trouble." The inspector looked at her for a long moment. "Many tourists do not know or do not think. That is the problem." The plainclothes officer who had caught Lisa stepped forward. The horse did not move much. She was lucky. If that animal had been spooked, people could have been hurt in the crowd. Lisa had not thought about that. The idea that her silly action could have caused people to get hurt made her feel even worse. The inspector picked up a phone and made a call. She spoke quietly so Lisa could not hear all the words. Lisa sat in the uncomfortable chair for what felt like hours, but was probably only 20 minutes. Her mind raced with worry. Would they put her in jail? Would they send her home? Would this go on her record? Finally, the inspector put down the phone and turned back to Lisa. "We have reviewed the security camera footage," she said, "and checked your background. You have no prior incidents." Lisa waited, holding her breath. "This time, you will receive an official warning," the inspector said. "But you are banned from attending any royal ceremonies or events for the rest of your stay in the United Kingdom. We will keep your information on file. If you cause any more trouble, the consequences will be much more severe." Relief washed over Lisa. No jail, no fine, just a warning. "Thank you," she said. "I promise I will not cause any more trouble." The inspector handed Lisa a paper to sign. It was an official warning notice. Lisa signed it with a still shaking hand. When she finished, the inspector returned her passport. "You may go," the inspector said. "Remember, actions have consequences, Ms. Chen, even when you are on vacation." The plainclothes officer opened the door. Outside, the sun seemed even brighter after the dim office. Lisa stepped back into the crowded street, feeling both relief and embarrassment. The changing of the guard ceremony was over. She had missed it completely. As she walked away from the palace, Lisa noticed a few people pointing at her. Had they seen her being taken away? Word seemed to travel fast. Her dream vacation now had a dark cloud hanging over it. Lisa walked back to her hotel in a daze. The busy London streets seemed to close in around her. Every time someone looked at her, she wondered if they knew what she had done. The tall buildings of the city now felt like they were watching her too. Her small hotel room felt safe when she finally reached it. Lisa sat on the bed and buried her face in her hands. How could a dream vacation turn so bad so quickly? She had planned this trip for years. Now all she could think about was the horse, the whispered voice, and that small police office. Lisa checked her phone. There were 3 missed calls from her friend Emma, who was also in London. They had planned to meet for dinner. Lisa was not hungry now, but she did not want to be alone with her thoughts. She called Emma back. "Hey, where have you been?" Emma asked when she answered. "I was worried when you did not show up after the palace." Lisa took a deep breath. "Something happened," she said. "I will tell you at dinner." They met at a small restaurant near the Thames River. The place was filled with happy tourists and locals. Lisa felt out of place among them. When Emma arrived, her smile dropped as soon as she saw Lisa's face. "What is wrong?" Emma asked as they sat down. "You look like you saw a ghost." Lisa told Emma everything. The crowd, the horse, the slap, and the scary trip to the police office. Emma listened with wide eyes. "You slapped a royal guard's horse. Are you crazy?" Emma asked. Her voice was too loud. A few people at nearby tables turned to look at them. "Shh, keep your voice down," Lisa begged. "Sorry," Emma said more quietly, "but that was a really stupid thing to do. You are lucky they did not throw you in jail." Lisa nodded sadly. "I know. I do not even understand why I did it. It was like my brain stopped working for a minute." Emma reached across the table and squeezed her hand. "We all do dumb things sometimes. At least you only got a warning." "But I am banned from royal events now," Lisa said. "And my name is in their system. What if I want to come back to London someday?" "That part does stink," Emma agreed. "But it could have been much worse." After dinner, they walked along the river. The lights of the city reflected on the dark water. It was beautiful, but Lisa could not enjoy it. She kept thinking about what happened. "Maybe I should just go home early," Lisa said as they walked. "This trip feels ruined now." Emma stopped walking and faced her friend. "That is just silly talk. You made one mistake. Do not let it ruin your whole vacation. London is huge. There are plenty of things to see that have nothing to do with royal guards or their horses." Lisa knew Emma was right, but shame still burned inside her. "What if people recognize me? What if I am on the news or something?" Emma laughed. "You are not that important, sorry to say. By tomorrow, everyone will have forgotten about the crazy tourist who slapped a horse. Trust me." When Lisa returned to her hotel room that night, she could not sleep. She kept seeing the stern face of Inspector Wells. She kept hearing that whispered voice behind her. "That was a very poor decision, madam." Those words would not leave her mind. Lisa opened her laptop and did something she had not planned to do. She started typing a long post about what had happened. She did not name herself, but she told the whole story honestly. How excited she had been for the trip. How frustrated she felt in the crowd. How she made a terrible choice without thinking. How scared she felt in the police office. And most importantly, how sorry she was. She posted it on a travel forum with the title, "A Warning to Tourists. Respect the guards and their horses." Maybe her mistake could help others avoid the same one. Maybe something good could come from this bad experience. Lisa finally fell asleep as the first light of dawn came through her window. Tomorrow would be a new day in London. She would try to make it better than today. Lisa woke up late the next morning. Her phone was buzzing with notifications. She rubbed her tired eyes and looked at the screen. Her heart jumped when she saw the numbers. Her post on the travel forum had thousands of views already. Hundreds of comments filled the thread. She sat up in bed and began to read the comments. Some people were kind. They thanked her for sharing her story and admitted they might have done something similar without thinking. Others were not so nice. They called her stupid and disrespectful. A few even said she deserved to be in jail. One comment caught her eye. It was from someone who claimed to be a former royal guard. The person wrote, "What many tourists do not understand is that these horses undergo years of training. They learn to stand still in crowds and ignore distractions. When people touch them, it can undo months of training. It shows great disrespect to the animals, the guards, and the tradition." Lisa felt a new wave of shame reading this. She had never thought about the training the horses went through. She had only thought about her own desire for a good photo. There was a knock at her hotel room door. Lisa was surprised to find Emma standing there with coffee and pastries. I thought you might need some breakfast and company, Emma said with a small smile. Lisa let her in and showed her the phone screen. My post went viral overnight. Look at all these comments. Emma scrolled through the comments as she sipped her coffee. Wow, some people are really mad at you. But look at these ones. Some people are actually thanking you for the warning. I know, Lisa said. I did not expect so many people to read it. Are you ready to go out today? Emma asked. We have tickets for the Tower of London, remember? Lisa hesitated. The thought of facing crowds again made her nervous. What if someone recognizes me? Emma rolled her eyes. We talked about this yesterday. No one is going to recognize you. And if they do, so what? You made a mistake. You are not a criminal. After breakfast, they headed out into the city. Lisa wore sunglasses and a hat, still worried about being recognized. The Tower of London was packed with tourists. Lisa stayed close to Emma, jumping whenever someone looked at her too long. As they toured the historic castle, Lisa began to relax a little. No one seemed to pay any special attention to her. Maybe Emma was right. Maybe she was not as important as she feared. They were looking at the crown jewels display when Lisa heard a man behind her say with a British accent, "That is her, the horse girl." Lisa froze. She slowly turned around. Two young men were looking at her and whispering. One of them had his phone out like he might take her picture. "Excuse me," Emma said to the men, stepping between them. "And Lisa, can we help you with something?" The taller man smirked. "You are her friend, right? The one who was with the woman who slapped the horse at Buckingham Palace." Someone posted a video online. It is all over Twitter now. Lisa felt sick. A video. Online. She had not seen anyone filming her. The room seemed to spin around her. "Come on, Lisa. We are leaving," Emma said, taking her arm. They pushed past the men and hurried outside. Lisa was breathing fast, trying not to cry. "There is a video of me online," she asked in a shaky voice. Emma pulled out her phone and searched quickly. Her face told Lisa everything before she even spoke. "Yes, someone filmed you being led away by that officer. The video does not show you slapping the horse, but the caption explains what happened." Lisa sat down on a nearby bench, her legs too weak to stand. "This is a nightmare. I will never be able to show my face in public again." "Stop being so dramatic," Emma said, sitting next to her. "Yes, it is embarrassing, but in a week, everyone will forget about it. The internet always moves on to the next story." Lisa was not convinced. "My students might see it. My principal might see it. My parents will definitely see it." Emma put her arm around Lisa's shoulders. "Then you will deal with it. You made a mistake. You owned up to it. You even tried to warn others not to do the same thing. You cannot hide forever." Lisa took a deep breath. Emma was right again. She could not hide. She had to face this. "What should I do now?" Lisa asked. "First, we finish our tour of the Tower of London because we paid good money for these tickets," Emma said firmly. "Then we find a pub and get a drink. You look like you need one." The next morning, Lisa woke up to her phone ringing. It was her mother calling from Seattle. Lisa answered with a sleepy hello. "Lisa Chen, why am I seeing a video of my daughter being led away by security at Buckingham Palace?" her mother asked. Her voice was a mix of worry and anger. Lisa closed her eyes. Of course her mother had seen the video. It was probably all over Facebook by now, where all the parents from her school hung out online. "Mom, I can explain," Lisa said. "Please do. Your father and I are very concerned." Lisa told her mother the whole story. She did not leave anything out. As she spoke, she realized this was the first time she had told anyone besides Emma what really happened. It felt good to be honest with her mom. "Oh, Lisa," her mother sighed when she finished. "What were you thinking?" "I was not thinking, Mom. That was the problem." There was a long pause on the phone. Lisa could almost see her mother shaking her head. "Well, you made a mistake. a public one. But you are not the first person to do something silly on vacation. Lisa felt a rush of relief. Her mother was not as angry as she had feared. Has your school principal seen the video? Her mother asked. Lisa had not thought about that. I do not know. Maybe. You should call him before he hears it from someone else. Be honest like you were with me. After talking with her mother, Lisa made another call she did not want to make. Mr. Peterson, her school principal, answered on the third ring. Lisa, is everything okay? Aren't you supposed to be enjoying London? Lisa took a deep breath and told him about the incident. She explained about the warning from the police and the video online. As she spoke, she felt tears coming to her eyes. I am so sorry, Mr. Peterson. I know this reflects badly on the school. I will understand if you want me to resign. Resign? That seems extreme for patting a horse, Mr. Peterson said. His calm voice surprised Lisa. But the video makes it look worse. And what will the parents think when they see their children's teacher being led away by security? Mr. Peterson was quiet for a moment. Lisa, you are one of our best teachers. The kids love you. You made a mistake on your personal time in a foreign country. You did not hurt anyone. You learned from it. That sounds like a good lesson to me. Lisa wiped away tears. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. In fact, he continued, I think this could be a teaching moment when you return. Our fifth graders are studying different countries and their customs. Your experience might help them understand the importance of respecting other cultures. After the call, Lisa felt lighter. Both her mother and her boss had been understanding. Maybe this would not ruin her life after all. She met Emma for lunch at a small cafe. The morning sun made the city look bright and new. So I talked to my mom and my principal, Lisa told Emma as they ate. They were both surprisingly nice about it. See, I told you it would not be the end of the world, Emma said. I know, but I still feel so embarrassed. Emma reached across the table and took her hand. Look around you, Lisa. Do you see how busy everyone is? No one here cares about your horse incident. Lisa looked around the crowded cafe. People were eating, talking, looking at their phones. No one was looking at her or whispering about her. I guess you are right, Lisa admitted. Of course I am right. Now we still have 3 days left in London. We can hide in your hotel room, or we can enjoy this amazing city. What do you want to do? Lisa thought about it. She had spent years saving for this trip. She had dreamed about seeing London. Was she going to let one stupid mistake ruin everything? I want to see the city, Lisa said with new determination. Emma smiled. Good choice, and maybe we can start with something that does not involve horses or royal guards. For the first time since the incident, Lisa laughed. A real laugh that made her feel normal again. Deal, she said. No more horses for me. As they left the cafe, Lisa noticed a newspaper on a nearby table. There was a small headline about increased security at Buckingham Palace. She quickly looked away. She was done dwelling on her mistake. It was time to move forward. For the next 2 days, Lisa and Emma explored London without any more problems. They visited museums, rode the London Eye, and took boat trips on the Thames River. Lisa kept her sunglasses on most of the time, but no one seemed to recognize her. The city was too big and too busy for people to care about one tourist who had made a mistake. On their last full day in London, Emma suggested they visit a small horse stable near Hyde Park. Lisa was not sure about this idea. Why would we go see horses? You know what happened last time I was near a horse, Lisa said. Emma smiled. That is exactly why we should go. You need to make peace with horses before you leave London. Lisa did not want to go, but Emma was hard to say no to. The stables were small but clean. A young woman named Molly was the guide. She showed them around and introduced them to the horses that people could rent for rides in the park. This is Daisy, Molly said, pointing to a gentle brown horse. She is our oldest and calmest horse. Perfect for beginners. Lisa stayed back, afraid to get too close. Emma nudged her forward. Would you like to pet her? Molly asked Lisa. Lisa shook her head quickly. No, thank you. I do not think that is a good idea. Molly looked confused. Are you afraid of horses? Not exactly, Lisa said. I just had a bad experience recently. Emma jumped in to explain. My friend here had a little incident with a royal guard's horse at Buckingham Palace. She is a bit nervous around horses now. Molly's eyes went wide. Wait, are you the tourist from the video? The one who slapped the guard's horse? Lisa wanted to disappear. She nodded slightly, her face turning red. She waited for Molly to get angry or ask them to leave. Instead, Molly burst out laughing. Oh my goodness, I saw that video. It was quite something. It was a stupid thing to do, Lisa admitted. I feel terrible about it. Molly's smile softened. Well, those royal horses are not like our horses here. They have special training. They are more like soldiers than regular horses. I did not know that at the time, Lisa said. Would you like to make friends with a regular horse before you leave London? Molly asked. Daisy here is very forgiving. Lisa looked at the gentle brown horse. Daisy had kind eyes and did not look anything like the black royal horses at the palace. Maybe it would be good to have a positive horse experience before leaving London. Okay, Lisa said slowly. What should I do? Molly showed Lisa how to hold her hand flat with a small apple treat on it. Lisa nervously held out her hand to Daisy. The horse gently took the apple with her soft lips. Lisa giggled at the tickling feeling. See, not so scary, Molly said. Lisa reached out slowly and patted Daisy's neck. The horse seemed to enjoy it. This was very different from slapping the royal guard's horse. This was respectful and gentle. Would you like to go for a short ride? Molly asked. Just around our small training area. Daisy is perfect for beginners. Lisa looked at Emma, who gave her an encouraging nod. I think I would like that, Lisa said with surprise in her voice. Molly helped Lisa get on Daisy's back and showed her how to hold the reins. At first, Lisa was stiff with fear, but as Molly led Daisy slowly around the training area, Lisa began to relax. By the end of the short ride, she was smiling. How do you feel? Emma asked when Lisa got off the horse. Good, Lisa said. Really good, actually. As they left the stables, Lisa felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She had been carrying the shame of the palace incident for days. Making friends with Daisy somehow made it better. Thank you for bringing me here, Lisa told Emma. I think I needed this. I know you did, Emma said. Sometimes the best way past a fear is to face it head on. That night, as Lisa packed her suitcase for their flight home tomorrow, she felt different. The London trip had not been what she expected. It had been both worse and better in strange ways. She had made a big mistake, but she had also learned important lessons about respect, forgiveness, and moving forward. Back in Seattle, Lisa returned to her normal life. Her first day back at school was harder than she expected. As she walked into the teacher's lounge, conversation stopped. Some teachers looked away. Others stared at her too long. Lisa knew they had all seen the video. Mrs. Thompson, the oldest teacher at the school, was the first to speak. Welcome back, Lisa. How was London? Besides the horse incident, of course. Lisa felt her face get hot, so everyone did know. She took a deep breath. London was beautiful, she said. And yes, I made a mistake with that horse. I learned a hard lesson about respecting other cultures and their traditions. To her surprise, most of the teachers nodded with understanding. Mr. Wilson, the history teacher, even patted her shoulder. We all make mistakes, he said. I once tried to feed a squirrel in Yellowstone and got a $50 fine. These things happen. By lunchtime, the tension had faded. Lisa was just another teacher again, not the woman from the viral video. But her 5th grade students were a different matter. As soon as she walked into her classroom, 20 pairs of curious eyes locked onto her. One boy in the front row, Tyler, raised his hand before she could even say hello. "Ms. Chen, is it true you got arrested in London for hitting a horse?" he asked. The class erupted in excited chatter. Lisa clapped her hands to quiet them down. "I was not arrested," she explained, "and I did not hit the horse. I made a poor choice and touched a Royal Guards horse, which is against the rules in London." "Did they put you in jail?" asked Madison from the back row. "No, they gave me a warning," Lisa said. "But I did have to go to a police station, and it was very scary." "Was the horse okay?" asked Emma, a quiet girl who loved animals. Lisa smiled at the question. "Yes, the horse was fine. These horses have special training to stay calm in all situations." More hands shot up with more questions. Lisa remembered what Mr. Peterson had said about using this as a teaching moment. Instead of shutting down the questions, she decided to embrace them. "I can see you are all very interested in what happened," Lisa said. "So today we are going to learn about cultural respect and why different countries have different rules." Lisa spent the class discussing how each country has special traditions and rules that visitors should respect. She showed pictures of the Royal Guards and their horses. She explained their importance in British culture and history. "When we visit other places," she told her students, "we need to learn about their rules and customs. What might seem like a small thing to us could be very important to them." The students listened with real interest. This was not a normal, boring lesson. This was about their teacher's real mistake and what she learned from it. At the end of the day, Mr. Peterson stopped by her classroom. "How did it go?" he asked. Lisa smiled. "Actually, it went well. The students were interested, and I think they learned something important." "So did I," Mr. Peterson said. "I watched how you turned an embarrassing moment into a valuable lesson. That is what good teachers do." That night, Lisa opened her laptop and checked the travel forum where she had posted her story. The post now had over 50,000 views and thousands of comments. But there was something new. The moderator of the forum had pinned her post to the top of the London travel section with a note, "Important cultural information for visitors to London." Lisa scrolled through the newer comments. Many tourists thanked her for the warning. Some shared their own stories of cultural mistakes while traveling. Her honest post had become a helpful resource for other travelers. There was even a comment from someone claiming to be from the Royal Parks Police. "Thank you for sharing your experience. Many tourists do not understand the seriousness of interfering with the Royal Guards or their horses. Your warning might prevent others from making the same mistake." Lisa was not sure if this comment was really from the police, but it made her feel better anyway. Her embarrassing video was still online, but now her warning was helping people too. Something good had come from her mistake. As she closed her laptop, Lisa thought about Daisy, the gentle horse from the London stables. She had been afraid that her mistake would make her fear horses forever. Instead, it had given her a new respect for these animals and the important roles they play in different cultures. 6 months passed since the London incident. Lisa's viral video had faded from the internet, replaced by newer viral moments. At school, students no longer asked about the horse. Life had returned to normal. One morning, Lisa checked her email and found a message that made her heart skip. The subject line read, "London Royal Parks Police." Lisa hesitated before opening it. Had they changed their minds about her warning? Was she in more trouble now? She clicked the email open and began to read. "Dear Ms. Chen, my name is Inspector Margaret Wells. We met briefly during your visit to London 6 months ago regarding an incident with a Royal Guards horse. Your online post about this incident has come to our attention. Unlike many tourists who break the rules, you took responsibility for your actions and warned others not to make the same mistake. We appreciate your honesty and your effort to educate other visitors." Lisa read the email twice to make sure she understood it correctly. The inspector was thanking her, not scolding her. The email continued, "We are developing new educational materials for tourists about proper behavior around Royal Guards and other British traditions. We would like to include your story as an example, with your permission of course. Your honest account might help others understand the importance of respecting our customs." Lisa sat back in her chair, stunned. The police wanted to use her mistake as an example to help others. This was unexpected but somehow fitting. Her embarrassing moment could have a lasting positive impact. She replied to the email right away, giving her permission. Inspector Wells responded with thanks and a surprising invitation. If Lisa ever returned to London, the inspector offered to give her a special behind-the-scenes tour of the royal stables, where the ceremonial horses were trained. Lisa shared the email with Emma, who was just as surprised. From criminal to educational example, Emma laughed. "You have come full circle." At school, Lisa told Mr. Peterson about the email. He was impressed and had an idea of his own. "Our fifth graders will study world cultures next semester," he said. "Would you be willing to develop a lesson about respecting different cultural traditions around the world? Your personal experience makes you the perfect teacher for this topic." Lisa agreed immediately. She spent weeks researching cultural rules and traditions from different countries. She created interactive lessons about what tourists should and should not do when visiting places like Japan, India, Egypt, and of course, the United Kingdom. When she taught these lessons to the fifth grade classes, the students were engaged like never before. They role-played different scenarios, learning how actions that seem harmless in one culture might be offensive in another. "Remember," Lisa told them, "when we visit other countries, we are guests in someone else's home. We need to follow their rules, even if they seem strange to us." At the end of the school year, Mr. Peterson called Lisa to his office. He had news that surprised her. "The school district was impressed with your cultural respect curriculum," he said. "They want to implement it in all elementary schools next year. They are offering you a position to train other teachers on how to use it." Lisa could hardly believe it. Her mistake in London had led to a special curriculum and now a promotion. It was strange how life worked sometimes. That evening, Lisa opened her laptop and started a new travel blog. She called it Respectful Roaming, Learning to Travel with Cultural Awareness. Her first post was the full story of her London horse incident and everything that happened after. "Sometimes our worst travel mistakes become our best travel lessons," she wrote at the end of the post. Within days, her blog had hundreds of followers. Travel companies started sharing her posts. A popular travel magazine asked her to write a monthly column about cultural respect for tourists. Emma called her after reading the blog. "You have turned an embarrassing mistake into a career opportunity. That is pretty impressive." Lisa smiled. "I never expected any of this to happen. I just wanted to warn other tourists not to slap horses." "Life is funny that way," Emma said. "The things that seem like disasters can turn into blessings if you handle them right." Lisa thought about the moment when she felt that breath on her neck and heard that whispered voice behind her. "That was a very poor decision, madam." At the time, it had seemed like the worst moment of her vacation. Now she saw it as a turning point in her life, a moment that had taught her valuable lessons and opened unexpected doors. 1 year after the London incident, Lisa stood at Heathrow Airport once again. This time, she was not a regular tourist. She had been invited by the British Tourism Board to speak at a conference about cultural respect for international visitors. Her travel blog had become popular, and her story was now used as a teaching example in tourism schools. Emma had come with her again, refusing to miss Lisa's big moment. They collected their bags and headed to their hotel in central London. "Are you nervous about going back?" Emma asked as their taxi drove through the city. Lisa looked out at the familiar streets. "A little, but mostly I feel grateful. If I had not made that mistake, none of this would have happened." The next morning, Lisa had a surprise waiting for her. Inspector Margaret Wells had arranged for a special tour of the royal stables, just as she had promised in her email. Lisa and Emma met the inspector outside the horse training facility near Buckingham Palace. "Ms. Chen, welcome back to London," Inspector Wells said, shaking Lisa's hand. She looked less stern than Lisa remembered, almost friendly. "Thank you for arranging this tour," Lisa said. I never thought I would be invited back here. Inspector Wells smiled. Few tourists turn their mistakes into teaching moments the way you did. Your post has actually helped us decrease incidents with the horses by 15% this year. The stable tour was fascinating. Lissa learned how the horses were selected and trained for royal duty. The head trainer explained how they taught the horses to stay calm in crowded, noisy situations. Each horse required years of training before they were ready for public ceremonies. These horses are like highly trained athletes and soldiers combined, the trainer explained. They learn to ignore distractions that would frighten normal horses. At the end of the tour, Inspector Wells had one more surprise. Would you like to meet one of our guard horses properly? With permission this time. Lissa laughed nervously. Yes, I would like that very much. The trainer brought out a beautiful black horse named Apollo. He was not the same horse Lissa had slaughtered a year ago, but he looked similar with his shiny coat and proud stance. You can pet him on the neck, the trainer said. He is off duty right now, so it is allowed. Lissa slowly reached out her hand and gently stroked the horse's neck. Apollo remained perfectly still, just as he was trained to do. His coat felt smooth and warm under her hand. Thank you, Lissa said to both the horse and the trainer. This proper meeting with a royal horse felt like closing a circle that had been open for a year. The next day, Lissa gave her speech at the tourism conference. She stood on stage in front of 200 travel industry professionals and told her story honestly. She explained how one thoughtless moment had led to embarrassment, then understanding, and finally to a new career path. Cultural respect is not just about following rules, she told the audience. It is about understanding why those rules matter to the people who live there. When we travel, we are guests in someone else's home, someone else's culture, someone else's history. After her speech, many people approached her to share their own stories of cultural mistakes and lessons learned. One woman in particular stood waiting patiently until the others had left. Ms. Chen, the woman said with a British accent, I wanted to thank you personally. I was the person who whispered in your ear that day at Buckingham Palace. Lissa stared at the woman in shock. You were the plainclothes officer. The woman shook her head. No, I was a tourist guide standing nearby. I saw what you did and spoke to you before the security officer arrived. Do you remember? Lissa thought back to that moment. She had always believed it was the security officer who had whispered to her. Had there been someone else? I saw you reach for the horse, and I tried to stop you, the woman continued. When I whispered to you, the actual security officer was already approaching from the other direction. He arrived just seconds after I spoke. Lissa was stunned. All this time, she had remembered the story slightly wrong. The whisper that changed her life had not come from an officer, but from a concerned tour guide trying to help. I never expected my words would have such an impact, the woman said. When I saw your blog and recognized your story, I knew I had to meet you at this conference. Lissa thanked the woman for speaking up that day, even though she had not listened in time. Small actions could change lives in unexpected ways. A tourist slapping a horse, a whispered warning, a moment of public embarrassment. All these small events had led to where Lissa stood today. That evening, Lissa and Emma walked past Buckingham Palace. The guards and horses stood at attention as always, surrounded by crowds of tourists taking photos. Do you want to stop and watch? Emma asked. Lissa shook her head. No need. I have seen it from both sides now. As they walked away, Lissa noticed a young woman reaching toward one of the horses, her camera ready for a fun photo. Without thinking, Lissa stepped closer to her. That would be a very poor decision, Lissa said quietly to the woman. The tourist looked surprised, then embarrassed. She lowered her hand and stepped back from the barrier. Thanks, she whispered. I did not know it was not allowed. Lissa smiled and handed her a small card with her blog address printed on it. We all learn as we go. Enjoy London. As Lissa walked away with Emma, she felt a sense of completion. The circle was now fully closed. The tourist who had made a mistake had become the person preventing others from doing the same. all because of a whispered warning from behind.